Hello everyone. In this lesson we will cover section 1 of our hourly call volume analysis dashboard. In section 1 we are going to show our call volumes by weekdays and weekday basis of our selection. In this drop down you can see we have February and March also here. So if I select February, you can see picture for February, or if I select January again here, you can see picture by January. So this is section 1 which we will cover in this lesson. Okay, so to perform this, let's insert two worksheet here. One for workings, so let me call this as working 2 because we already have one working sheet, and one more sheet here for dashboard. This one I'm calling as dashboard 2. I don't need this extra sheet, so right click and delete. Okay, so we have inserted two sheets here everyone, and you can see here for section 1 we have done all our calculation in working sheet. What we have created here everyone, we have created one table where we have mentioned the first date of our first date of basis of our selection, and then you can see time stamping 1 AM to 2 AM, 2 AM to 3 AM, 3 AM to 4 AM, 4 AM to 5 AM, and then we have captured how many number of calls on weekdays and how many number of calls on weekend. What is this minus 2000? Don't worry about it, I will explain you this. And first let's start with designing this part. Okay, so for that I first need one data validation. So let's go in our dashboard and select any cell. Let's start with the P1, which later we can change. Let's click on data tab. Under this drop down, select data validation, and in this drop down list, and then we have to pass source here. Okay, you can pass any source. If I take reference from my existing working sheet, you can see source is from I7. So let me create the same in my working 2 also, I7 as a source. So I'm mentioning this as month selection source, not I5 everyone, I7, and let's mention all the month here. 1/1/2018. This is 1st January 2018 because we have captured data of 1st January 2018, February 2018, and March 2018. And this is Feb 2018 and March 2018. I have captured only 3 months because we have 3 months data in our data sheet, and you can see I have captured first day of each month, 1st January, 1st Feb, 1st March. Now let's go in our dashboard 2, select this cell, data, under this drop down, data validation, and in this drop down list validation, and from source working 2, select these 3 cells, hit OK. Now in this drop down you can see 3 items, 3 values. If I select 1st January 2018, this returns number value, which is the memory value of 1st January 2018 in Excel. Let's format this. Select this cell, go to Home tab. Under this drop down, select more number formats, and from here we can customize. I just want to show month and year, so in general, in this type box, remove general, and 3M for month, apostrophe and 2Y. Here you can see Jan 18, correct? Hit OK, and this Jan 18. You can change the font size. Let's make it 16 and italic. Let's increase the column width, and then this is February, this is March. But in this drop down also, this is showing this as 1/1/2018, 2/1/2018, and 3/1. In this drop down I also want to show by same way. So what we have to do in our working 2 also, we have to change the format. So select this range, drop down, more number formats, under custom, and M apostrophe 2Y. Hit OK, and you can see the same format here. And when I click on this drop down, you can see the same format here also. Perfect. So we have created data validation box here everyone. Now let's work on section 1. In section 1, if you check from existing working sheet, our calculation is from C2 and C3. In C2 we have mentioned dates. This is 1st January 18. If I scroll right, then you can see some gap here of around 4 columns, and then we have 2nd January, then again we have 3rd January, and then again we have 4th January. So this is how I have captured till 31st January. But what is the picture right now here? For each day we have mentioned time buckets. You can see 1 AM to 2 AM, 3 AM, 4 AM, 5 AM, like this from range C3. So what I do now, let me just copy this entire column. Let's take the reference from this entire column, copy this, and let's go in a working and paste at A3. I have copy pasted entire. Okay, so you can see 1 AM till 12 AM bucket. Then after that again 1 AM till 12 AM, then 1 AM till 12 AM, like this. You can see all bucket, correct? For 31 days. Now in this cell I will capture the date which we have selected in our data validation box. So reference this cell, which is P1. Okay, dashboard to exclamation P1 cell, hit enter, and you can see this is 43101, which is 1st January 2018. Let me format this in short date format so that you can easily refer. Okay, now I want to show the same in this entire range. So you can equal, refer to this, and then F4, freeze this. Then you can copy and then paste this entire. Okay, this date, obviously this entire section belongs to 1st January, so we have to mention this equal to this plus 1, right, like this. Okay, and then this is equal to this F4. Okay, enter, and then you can copy paste. This is 2nd January, and the same approach we have to follow for other sections also. In this section 1, everyone, for others also we have to follow the same approach. So what we can do for this right now, let's copy and paste the entire column from our existing working sheet. I have already explained you the calculation which we have performed here, the trick which we have performed here. So let's go in a working, but we'll do one small slight change. Let me just copy this entire column and let's go to working, and then here right click, paste spatial as formulas, and you can see all the formulas. But instead of dashboard AF1, I will take reference from my dashboard sheet, which is dashboard 2 P1, correct, this cell. Hit enter, and you can see this is 1st January. When I scroll right, you can see this is 2nd January. When I scroll more right, you can see this is 3rd January, but which is not formatted because we have pasted only formula. So let's do one thing, select entire row also, left click on this 2nd row, and then click on this drop down and say short date format, and this is 3rd January, scroll right, 4th January, 5th January, like this. You can see all the sections here, right? Done. Next thing, what we want to capture here, we want to capture number of calls between 1 AM to 2 AM on 1st January 2018, correct? So to capture number of calls, if you check your data, we have number of calls, which you can see here, start time, end time, and I want to see between 1 AM to 2 AM, correct? For 1st January 2018 in this section. Then 2 AM to 3 AM, here I want to capture. For this I will use SUMIFS formula, everyone. So let's write here equal SUMIFS, bracket open, first argument is sum range. I want to sum my column, which is column D. Press F4 because every time we want to sum this column, comma. Criteria range 1 is obviously a start time, so select this. F4, I want to look every time this column, so that's why we have applied $sign using F4 shortcut key, comma. In some of the keyboard, dollar comes with function F4, so you have to take care accordingly, everyone. Criteria 1. Now my criteria 1 is that my time should be greater than equals to, in working we have captured this range. Now in this case, every time I want to relatively change the column. So first let me just apply dollar before row. Okay, comma. Then we have one more criteria from the same column, from the data, not from the same column, but from the timestamping column, which is end time. Select this entire range, F4, comma. Then criteria 2 is should be less than, in working 2, we have this range, which is D3. Double quotes closed, bracket closed, hit enter, and you can see, okay, this is giving us right now 0 number of calls. We'll look into the formula, but before that, let's do one more thing. We have not mentioned that on which day. So let's pass our criteria range 3, which is from data. Let's select your entire column A, F4, comma, basis of day this. Okay, which is your cell C2, and in this case from the same row. So let's apply dollar before row, and in different columns we want to return the result. Now this is 1 AM, this is 2 PM, and we set greater than equal to, and here we set less than, from B column and from C column. Let's check what is the formula in our working sheet we have used here, and we have used here greater than equal to. Okay, so small miss here everyone, and which is we have mentioned this entire range address in double quotes. So if anything you mention in double quotes comes as in character, so we have to take this out from double quote, and then we have to use only greater than equal to operator in double quote, and ampersand we use to concatenate, and here also let's use this in double quote and ampersand to concatenate and remove double quote from here. Okay, so anything if you use inside double quote becomes a character. Obviously this is a range address, I don't want to use as a character. Hit enter, and you can see, okay, 2712 calls we took on this day. So this is the formula which we have used here, right? Now if you check our dashboard, my weekends are in different color and weekdays are in different color. For this trick we have created 2 rows everyone, one for weekdays and second for weekends. Now first we have to identify that 1st January is a weekday or weekend. For this I will use one equal weekday formula, braces open, and then you can see here I will select date, which is 1st January, close, enter. This is 2. Now how we can take reference from this formula? If you double click on this formula and look for second argument, comma, this is saying that if your function returns 1, that means it's Sunday, through 7, that means 7 is Saturday. That means if your function return 1 and 7, that means it's Sunday and Saturday, and rest of the days are weekdays. So let me use the same formula everyone, hit enter, and then I will use the same formula in my entire row. So to use this, let's take reference from this working. We have already done our calculation here, so let's copy this entire, let's go in a working sheet, and then right click, paste special as formulas, and you can see all the formulas we have applied on this entire row, which is first row everyone. Here you can see this is 2nd January 2018, and 2nd January 2018 is everyone, if you check, this is returning 3, and 3 means this is Tuesday, correct? And you can see in my dashboard also, first is Monday, then second is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like this. So this row will help us to check, okay, if this is 2, that means I want to print values here, and if this is 3, sorry, if this is 1 and 7, I want to print values in my weekend. So we'll write one if logical formula. If my this cell which where we have captured everything in one row, so let me apply dollar before row, and column obviously I want to change every time, is not equals to 1, comma, now I want to use 2 comparison. One is not equal to 1 and second is not equal to 7. If this is equals to 1 and 7, I want to print values here. Okay, so for that I will use everyone one function here. So we have, when we want to test multiple logical check, we have AND and OR function. Now in this I want to make sure that if one of them comes, if this is equals to 1, then I want to print value here. If this is equals to 7, I want to print value here. So in that case I will use OR function, everyone. Bracket open, comma, this cell again, apply dollar before row is not equals to 7, bracket close, comma, this is my value which I want to return, and in the case of false I want to return comma blank, double quotes, bracket close. Hit enter and you can see yes, this is 2, which is, you can see Monday. Manually if I write 1 here, you can see obviously we have to calculate this value is not. Let's go in formula and let's check our calculation first. Okay, this is automatic, but this has returned 272. This should have returned blank. So I'm saying if this is not equal to 1 and this is not equal to 7, then use this formula, else blank. Correct. So if one of them becomes true, this will return true. But okay, so instead of not equal to everyone, I will use equal here. Hit enter and this is 1. You can see output here. Okay, so there is some issue right now, which let's check carefully, and why this is returning value here. I don't want to return value here. In the case of 1, I want to return value here. I don't want to return value here. Okay, so I'm saying if this is equals to 1 and this is equals to 7, in that case, okay, in true part let's write blank, and in false part let's write the values, and let's close this. Hit enter and you can see okay, this is blank. Perfect. But if I copy paste this formula, when it becomes weekday, you can see the output here. All right, so here we have applied a logic. If this cell is weekend, then no need to show values here, just show this as blank. Now here I will write a different formula, which is equal if this cell is equals to 1 comma, let's use OR function again here also, bracket open, this cell is equals to 7, then I want to use the same SUMIFS formula, correct, which is SUMIFS, bracket open, my sum range is from data, which is sum of my D column, comma, start time, apply dollar, comma, criteria 1 is greater than equals to, close double quotes, ampersand, in working to this range, apply dollar here, comma, one more criteria which is again from data column, end time, apply dollar, comma, double quotes, less than, ampersand, data column, working to column, less than this timestamping. Okay, we did one miss here. This is not from C2, this is from C3. Okay, now my date column is from column A of my data sheet, which should be equal to this. Okay, and apply dollar before row, close your SUMIFS, and if condition becomes false, I want to reprint blank, close, and then we missed to close our OR function here. Let's close our OR function here, everyone. Enter, and you can see this is blank because this is a weekday. Then we can drag this entire formula in our entire section. Okay, so to perform the same, let's go here in working and let's copy paste this entire in working, and then right click, paste special, formulas I want to paste here, and you can see all the formulas we have pasted. But if you observe, instead of blank, this is returning 2000. If you check your formula here, instead of blank, we have mentioned 2000 here. What is the logic? The logic is, if you mention here blank, in that case, in your dashboard, program will show your red color lines for Monday, Tuesdays at 0 value, which I don't want to show. So what we did, we have mentioned minus 200, actually minus 2000. So we have actually a red line from minus 2000, but we said, okay, we forcefully want to start a vertical axis from the 0 value. So you can see vertical axis from the value 0. Okay. And this is how we have taken care of this section. Now we'll insert one chart. To insert chart, select your entire data from here till, let's area for, we can send this section also, Control Shift right again, and then entire section. Till 31st January. Okay, so we have selected till end value of 31st January here, and then click on insert, and then click on line chart, and then here you can see a area line chart. Left click on this and you can see a chart here. And we have created a perfect chart which is in a different color, you can see here. Remember, this value is minus 2000, so you can see values for this blank area till minus 2000. What we do now, let's select this vertical axis, right click, go to format axis, and fix your minimum bound, which is automatic right now, to value 0. Let's keep maximum as automatic, and you can see this is starting from 0, and then we have taken care of that. Okay, perfect. Let's close this dialogs and let's Control X cut this chart and paste in your dashboard sheet. Control V. Perfect. Now we have to give a proper width to this chart. You can see the width is not proper, so that's why this is not using the all values of this axis. Then we can decrease the font size of this horizontal axis also. So let's select your horizontal axis and let's give font size of 7, because I want to show all item for all the section. This is one section. Right now we have created everyone.